Hello and welcome to Hasu Hour. I'm your host, Zerg. The map today is Prion Terraces, and the matchup is Zerg versus Protoss, with the Zerg spawning in the top and the Protoss spawning in the bottom. Both players get off with a little good-mannered chat and commence their initial builds, with the Protoss player opting for a pretty risky fast expansion strategy uh, at his natural here, and the Zerg player getting kind of lucky to win the paper scissors rock contest of opening builds, starting with an early pool. The early pool is maybe a little less common of an opening, but I think it's sound strategically. You get those early lings, which can do some damage or control the map, and you also rush to a queen, which is very helpful. And I feel like the way that Jonah has done it here without any gas is best because it allows you to expand as well. So you're maybe slowed a little economically, but you have the early military advantage, and it's fun to attack anyway. Jonah opts for a expansion at his gold rather than his more easily defendable natural, and that's a logical decision considering the fact that he made an early pool and has this Ling army. The Protoss player, meanwhile, scouting the rush, is scrambling to set up some sort of a defense. You'll see he didn't even build a forge, so he really doesn't have a whole lot to fight off these Lings. And his Nexus comes under attack. There's nothing there to defend it. Now, the Protoss player, in sort of a desperation, tries an interesting strategy here, which is he teams his Zealot with an army of probes and confronts the Ling's forces. And this is sort of difficult for the Zerg player to deal with because the Zerglings are going to auto-ignore probes in this scenario and just target the Zealot. So if he's not careful, he is going to end up with a meat grinder situation where the probes are just scoring free hit after free hit, and the Lings are sort of trying to target the Zealot but getting blocked by the probes. Maybe with very excellent micro, he could pick off the probes, but he opts for a safer style of harass and retreat, which is probably pretty wise, all things considered. The Adept hot on the pursuit of the Lings, but he gets trapped by a 5-Ling force, and he's down to, oh, he's dead. So the Zerglings, a real coup there, killing the early Adept and preventing too much harass pressure, allowing him to buy some time to build more drones. The second gold grabbed by Jonah, so this could lead to really phenomenal mineral income for him. And he throws down a sunken at his main to defend against Adept harass, which is a pretty bright idea. The Adept shades, moving past the double queen defended gold base and trying to get into the main here, but with a queen, a sunken, and 4 Lings. These two Adepts, yes, they're able to get a kill, but they're not really able to do any devastating damage. Meanwhile, a Zealot meets an untimely demise at the hands of some Ling defenders at the second gold base. Adepts still trying to find a soft spot in the Zerg defenses, but pretty nice setup here by the Zerg, able to fend off this attack without too much trouble, and then able to go about doing what Zergs do best: pump drones and get that economy roaring. Little cheeky Overlord placement here by Jonah. Complete vision of the Protoss base. A little risky, obviously, to leave your Overlords in your opponent's base 5 minutes into the game, and you see what happens when you do. But he does at least get that very valuable intel as to what sort of strategy the Protoss player is planning. A little more Adept pressure for mana, and some sentries now under attack from Zerglings, but with the Mothership Core and such a small Zergling army, they're not really able to do too much damage. One of the sentries does get somewhat badly injured. 4 adept pressure now, attacking the Queen and warping in behind the Zerg base. This drone army here is forced to retreat to stop mining, but the 2 queens are able to successfully defend. So not too much damage was done. Ravager tech coming into play, and the adepts forced to retreat in the face of the Zerg defenses. So still a pretty even game. Zerg with a slight supply advantage as we approach the mid-game. And very nice eco with full saturation mining on 2 gold bases. The Protoss player pretty close to saturation mining as well. But now with the 3rd gold base is going to have some pretty good income. But he's still no doubt significantly behind, as you can see in the mineral section of the page right there. Warp Prism play from Protoss. The Adept makes for an excellent drop harass unit, and the Lings are going to be able to force a retreat here, but really nice dropship micro from the Protoss player. There is a pretty long range of that Warp Prism, so you are able to pick up units as they're being attacked and get them out of there without suffering huge losses. Economy of military is important in StarCraft. As you save units, then you'll be able to mount a much larger offense later on in the game when you do the massive push. But all in all, that drop harass didn't really do much damage. It was successfully defended by the Zerg forces. Jonah's army seems to be mostly just Ravagers and Lings here, and it looks like he's going for a massive all-in push on the Protoss gold base. Disruptor, Stalker, Sentry, Immortal, Adept, and Mothership Core forces here trying to defend, and Photon Overcharge along with Force Fields is going to create a very nasty situation for these Zerglings, and pretty much all the Lings are wiped out, but the Ravagers able to do a lot of damage here and throwing down their Corrosive Bile and retreating before they can take any substantial losses. So a pretty good attack for the Zerg forces. This Corrosive Bile is going to miss. The Disruptor is a new unit with Legacy of the Void, very strong in mass army on mass army situations because of the Purification Nova, which does a 400 damage large splash radius attack, perfect for taking on huge armies. The downside is it has a phenomenally slow cooldown, so if they attack in between the time when your Novas can fire, you may find yourself in a bit of trouble. Massive Zergling pump from Jonah. He must have found himself with some spare minerals on account of his phenomenal income. And he sets up a little trap here with the Lings hidden off to the side of the map. Both players taking a moment to sort of breathe and macro up. 4 bases for the Zerg to 3 for the Toss. But it's still a pretty close game with neither player having a decisive edge just yet. The Zerg player has maintained a higher level of aggression in the mid game, and the Protoss player has been sort of forced into a defensive shell. Now, 5th base being established for the Zerg. If he's able to get this income online, that is going to be devastating. And pretty nice Infestor Ravager combination for the Zerg there. Looks like the Protoss player might be moving out, but his forces are getting split up a little here. You want to keep those together. You want to keep these disruptors defended, and he takes the north side of the map to hopefully, from his perspective, attack, get the attack unscouted. But he's in retreat, and the Ling backstab in effect here. The Ling's running past the Protoss base and surrounding these stalkers a little bit. Looks like he's going to take out the Templar archives, and the probes are running away, terrified of the Ling forces. Ling's in all over the Protoss base. Actually, pretty nice chaos caused by this attack, considering that Lings, they're not that valuable, so you can throw them away. Mineral income is less important towards the middle of the game. Players often establish some sort of mineral glut, and the real value is your Vespian in terms of the more dangerous units that you can produce. Ultra Ling push now from the Zerg player. So this is sort of an interesting style here. He's sort of throwing away a lot of units, but also causing a lot of chaos and havoc throughout the Protoss forces. And again, he sets up this Ling backstab threat. The Protoss player pushing on the left side of the map, and he wants to take out this Zerg base here, although it's almost completely mined out anyway. Looking like we're going to see a confrontation. The combined forces battling it out. Corrosive Bile taking out an Archon. And the Ultralists wary of the Disruptor's Purification Nova, keeping their distance. Meanwhile, a Ling backstab has managed to take out a good portion of this Protoss gold. The Protoss players' income pretty badly devastated right now. And the Zerg able to at least save this fifth base of his. Really pretty precarious income for both players, actually, as the Zerg bases get mined out, and his newest, most life-filled expo completely slowed down now. But the Protoss player is not exactly doing well economically either, struggling to get his economy back online in the face of the relentless Zerg attacks. And once again, the Protoss player going for a big push, and once again, the Ling backstab, in effect, slowing the push, but the Lings aren't going to cause too much damage this time. And the Protoss player says, you know what, I'm just going to push. A little spread here by the toss, maybe worried about those fungal growths, which can be devastating. The Protoss Warpin forces were able to deal with the Ling backstab, but here come the Broodlords, and Jonah is just pulling out all the stops. The Broodlord being so high up the tech tree is not really that common a unit, but it can be devastating because of the oh, 2 Purification Novas land on the Ultras, and 2 more. A lot of damage being done, but how is he going to take on this high-tech composition of Zerg forces? Ultralisks and Broodlords ripping through the Protoss forces, fungal growths freezing the army in place, and it really looks like the Zerg is getting the better of this encounter. The Archons are falling, the Corruptors defending the Broodlords from this Void Ray combination, and really not looking good for the Protoss player here, as the massive Zerg army just rips through his few remaining forces. He's even got a few queens in there to heal his units, and down go the last disruptors. And that is all, folks. That is the game.